first Sunday of Christmas, Sharon shared with me a gift card holder, but not just any gift card holder. It's a Waterfall gift card holder. It holds multiple gift cards. You open it up, pull on the ribbon, and it reveals gift cards and a message. So let me close this here, and let's show you how to make it. We're going to begin by cutting our base cardstock. I'm using cherry cobbler. The first piece, which I'm calling piece A in my written tutorial, is 9 3/4 by 3 1/2. So I'm going to cut the 3 1/2 and then cut this down to 9 3/4. And then while I have it on the long side, I'm going to score it at 5 1/4, 5 3/4, 6 1/4, which is the mark that is right before the turn. You can see it if you look carefully. The other way you can tell that you're correct is if this score line right before it should be on this second line from my ditch. And then 6 3/4 and 7 1/4. So 5 1/4, 5 3/4, 6 1/4, 6 3/4, and 7 1/4. So this is kind of our magic, one half of our magic piece to this project. I'm going to take another full-size sheet and cut this into 11 by 5 3/4. It's already 11, so I'll cut it at 5 3/4. And then I'm going to turn this one on the long side and score it at 3 inches. Make sure you're moving that cutting blade. So you're going to score it at 3 inches, 3 1/4, 7 inches, and 7 1/4. That's what I'm calling piece B. Now piece C is 5 3/4 by 1. Let's go ahead and cut this at, I'm going to cut this at 1. I actually need 2 1-inch pieces. So this is 1 and I need another one. So I'm just going to cut that one right now as well. Okay, so one of these I need 1 by 9 1/4. I'm calling that piece D, and we're not scoring that at all. I skipped piece C. Piece C is 5 3/4 by 1. And this one we are scoring. We're scoring it at 1 inch. And 4 5/8. The 5/8 mark is 2 tick marks past the 4 1/2. This is the other piece of the magic. All right, we will also need 4 pieces of 3 1/2 by 3. Now the problem with this is that it's not quite big enough. I'm going to need another scrap of cherry cobbler, which means that I'm using just over 2 sheets of cherry cobbler. It's 2 and just a little bit. So again, we need 3 1/2 by 3. So there's my 3.5, and then 3 inches. So here's 1. Here's 2. And here's 3. If I grab another scrap, I just will do my other one. So 3.5 by 3. There's my 4th piece. Now, if you want, when you're decorating, you can bring in another scrap of cherry cobbler just to give your decoration on the front a little bit of weight to it. But that's totally up to you. I'll show you when we get there. All right, let's bring in our pieces. So this was A, this was B, C, and D. So I'm going to put, and these were the layers. These come last. I'm going to put D here, C here, and B over here right now. I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm going to score on each of the 5 score lines here. So if it's going to be important, this first score line, the one that is closest to the middle, okay, this is how it's going to attach to your card base. So keep in mind, that's what I'm calling the 5 1/4 inch fold, because this is 5 1/4. We're going to fold on all the other ones and burnish. And we're making sure that we're folding in the same direction each time. So we're not, we're not accordion folding or anything. Everything goes in the same direction. And so you get something that looks like this when you're done. So this shorter piece is the front. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to also fold and burnish on piece B. Okay. Now, when you're orienting it, you can orient it any way that you want to, but I like to have this wider side tucked inside. I just think it looks nicer when we're finished, and you'll see. So we're going to attach this to this area in here, but first we have to deal with piece C. You're going to fold and burnish in the same direction both times. Bring back in piece A. Now remember, this is the shorter side. You're going to take piece C. Now, it's okay if you wrap it around the front. You're not going to attach these ends yet. What you're attaching is this piece to the back of this shorter side. I'll put some adhesive right in this section right here. Oh, I'm out. Let's get a new one. I've been fighting with this one for a while, so I know it's definitely out. Okay, so I'm going to just... You have to use a strong adhesive. That's one reason why I like the liquid glue. The other is it gives me some time to play and get it just right. I want to make sure that the bottom edge is lined up with the bottom edge of the front of this shorter piece. And it helps me keep it straight if I just wrap this around. Now this little piece is a little bit wider than this cardstock. All right, it's about 1/8 of an inch, so you can center it on there. Get a little bit of room on each side. Now you're going to take these 2 pieces. They're actually going to fold around this other part. But before we do that, we need a piece that goes in here, and that's our basic white piece. We have a piece of basic white that measures 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, so it's a square, and it's going to go right inside. So here's the side, the front, this part that's shorter here. It's going to go right in here about an inch or so from the bottom, and that puts it an inch or so from that 5 1/4 fold. This is the area where you're going to sign your name, write a little personal note, etc. You can make it go a little higher if you want to. You can't really make it go much lower because you don't want it to be seen. This is a special reveal. Okay. So now that we have that in place, make sure you've got that folded at the 5 1/4 mark. Remember, I told you that was the important piece. You're going to turn these flaps all the way to the back. They get the adhesive. Not too close to the edge. You don't want it, squeaking out too much. All right. I'm going to bring this piece in with my wider side over here, my narrower side over there. And I'm going to get a little gluey here, probably. I'm going to make sure this is folded nicely in half. And I'm going to center this in this center section. And I want to make sure that it's nice and straight. Should be about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little less, maybe 1/16 or so in the area there. And we're going to just put that in there right like that. Oh, I keep moving it. Trying to avoid getting my fingers sticky. All right, so remember, it's only being adhered right down here. Up here, it's going to move because that's what it does. All right, while this is setting up, we're going to decorate these pieces. So we will need our designer series paper. I'm going to bring in my Traditions of Christmas designer series paper, and this is the print that I'm going to use. It's got just some real red and cherry cobbler polka dots on the back. But there's also this beautiful piece here with the plaid and some larger flowers. I think these flowers are a little bit too large to have on the front of my gift card holder. We've got some old olive with just lots of red, lots of Christmassy red, which probably wouldn't really be bad. You know what? I'm going to use this one instead. Let's use this one. I didn't show you the rest. Let me show you the rest. We've got some Secret Sea with some more flowers. We've got this one right here, which is beautiful, but these coordinate with a die. And so since a die will cut this out, I'm leaving this alone so that I can get a lot of these flowers. I think this is going to be part of my Christmas card. And it's got that beautiful gold foil in there that you just can't achieve with the stamp alone. All right. So what we're going to do is for this front panel right here, I need a piece that measures 2 7/8 by 5 7/8. And this is non-directional, which is great. The back is also non-directional. I need also a piece in here that's going to be the back side, and I want that to be 5 5/8 tall. So I might as well just cut 5 5/8 first. 5 5/8. Okay, and so I need a piece for that very front panel that is 2 7/8. 7/8 is 2 marks before the 3. And then I need the old olive one that is 3 5/8. And 5/8 is 2 marks past the half mark, or 2 tick marks before the 3/4 mark. All right, so what we're going to have here is we're going to have this old olive piece right there. And then we're going to have this front piece that looks just like that. And so we can glue those on. And I like to glue to kind of see how it goes here first. And that way I know where I'm gluing. So I'm going to adhere this one. To the front. And if you're using directional paper, obviously you want to make sure that your 5/8 is the portrait. Okay, so there's just a little bit of margin here, which is what we want. Okay, and then again, when this is closed, I want the green one here. So we'll put our glue on the back of this. And that is going to go right there. So we will see both prints. Just a little bit of edge. It gets stuck down before I could move it. So it's going to have to be good enough. There we go. But see how you can see both patterns and they go nicely together. You've got that red and green. So I have 4 panels that are each 3.5 by 3 inches. I'm going to bring my designer series paper back in, and I'm going to cut 3.5 inches. And then I'm going to exactly get 4 pieces because it's 12 inches long. I'm going to get 4 3-inch wide pieces. Again, directional play a different, a big part in here because you have to have it going horizontally or landscape. Okay, so we've got these 4 pieces and they're going to sit right on top of here exactly. Now, is this step necessary? No, it just makes it a little bit more decorative. Can you alternate them? Yes, you can. I think I'm going to try that. I'm going to have green showing on one, and I'll have the pattern, the other pattern, the red pattern, cherry cobbler pattern, showing on the other side. That hadn't been my plan up until 10 seconds ago. Come on, nearing the end of my glue. I'm gonna have to replace it shortly. And then come on. Come on, you can do it. All right. Now these pieces are going to be put on my mechanism. So this bottom piece down here is what gets pulled, and then you can see this starts bending and folding under. So what we're going to do is there are 1/2-inch strips in here. That's where these guys get glued. So I'm going to just put my adhesive in this 1/2-inch strip. Again, you want to use a very sticky adhesive. So either tear and tape or the multi-purpose liquid glue. You're going to line it right up to the top. Keep it straight. So if you look alongside The mechanism, you want to make sure that all lines up. That'll help you know it's on there straight. Then you do the next piece that's showing. Again, you're going to put this on here and make sure that they're all kind of even down here at the bottom. If you just sort of run your finger along it to make sure it is parallel to the other one and actually right up next to it. And we've got another one. I wonder if I would have done it differently and had the red one on top first. I don't know. I think I like the contrast. Whichever one that you want shown when you first open it, that's the last one that goes on. So if you are changing patterns, keep that in mind. Oops, this one's not on straight. Whoa, 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 where'd you go? Hold on. Well, I need a little bit more glue, I think. Okay, let me just line that up again, make sure that that's nice and straight. The advantage to tear and tape is that you don't have to wait for it to dry. But honestly, the advantage to this is you've got the wiggle room. So you have time to adjust it if you need to. So around here, make sure it's right up to the top. That looks all lined up nicely. All right, so I'm going to just let that set up for just a second. So what we will have is something that looks like this when it's closed, and you can close it a number of different ways. You can use a little Velcro dot here, and that would be fine. Or you can use a ribbon to hold it closed, or you can use a belly band. And if you're going to use a belly band, you can either use cardstock, or now this piece is too wide, or you could use designer series paper. If you did a belly band, I probably honestly wouldn't even measure it. I would just do this. I would wrap it around, keep it fairly loose because you want it to be able to slide off and on, and adhere it in the front. Now the reason why I'm going to adhere it in the front, this is just a teeny tiny little belly band. You can make it wider if you want to. I just happen to have this strip on my desk, so I thought I'd use it. The reason why we want to adhere it in the front is because we're going to cover this up anyway. We're going to cover it up with a sentiment. And then it will just slide off and open up to reveal this. We will need a sentiment here. And what's going to happen is we're going to pull this, and you'll need a sentiment down here and maybe something final right in here. So maybe we have another piece of cardstock, and we can just cut that down. This measures 3 by 3.5 still. No, this one's shorter, sorry. This one's 2.5 by 3.5. So if I cut just this little piece that I have right here, 2.5 by 3.5. All right, so I'm just gonna cut off to the side here. There's my 3.5. Here's my 2.5. And we're just going to adhere that right there and maybe put another little sentiment statement on there. If I just close that and press down, yeah, that'll work. Okay. It's fine that this does not pop up all the way. The person receiving it is going to be able to read this. And this is where you can put a note. All right, to make the pull mechanism, you're just going to need a hole punch. And I don't know if I think I want to use a larger one, so I'll use a regular hole punch. And in order to punch it, you want to pull it open a little bit. And we will just, how do I use a hole punch? I'm kidding, I know. You don't want to get it too close to the bottom because you don't want it to tear, but you don't want to get it so high that it looks weird as well. I have a piece of this gold striped ribbon. I'm going to fold it in half, and the length of this happens to be 12 inches. Let me show you. If I feed it through so that the folded end comes through the top. The trick here, don't pull on both of them. Pull one at a time. Alternate one at a time. And you've got this look. But look at what happens on the other side. I like this look much better. So to achieve that, instead of the folded coming up, you want to put the folded end through top down. Feed the ends through the middle. And again, you're going to, well, let's straighten it out here. And then you're just going to alternate pulling on the ends of the ribbon until it's nice like that. Okay, it was 12 inches. Obviously, I don't need that long a piece. That's just how much I had. So judging by how much I cut off, let's see, I think you probably could have gotten away with 6 inches. That's trimmed, so I would probably start with a piece that's 8 inches long, just to be sure. If you wanted to write pull, you could, but most people understand. They see these ribbon ends, and oh, look at what happens. It flips. So this is the waterfall mechanism. And now what are we going to put in it? Well, I'm going to put in some gift cards. All right, I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I've got some basic white scraps here. We'll need a number 1, 2, and 3 plate, and then our scraps. And I'm using the traditional labels, those that has lots of wonderful sentiments, perfect for this time of year. Well, the time of year that we're doing 12 Sundays of Christmas anyway. And then it also has coordinating dies. And here are some of them, and I've gotten 3 of them out. So there's 7 total. And these are the 3 I'm going to be using. So there's substantially sized dies. And let's see, I think I can get 2 on this one. Let's see here. That one barely fits. Because this is a photopolymer set, I am die cutting first because I'll know exactly where I'm stamping. Oh, but I didn't know exactly where I was putting that handle. Now it's far away from me. You know what? I've got to turn it around. Oops. Let's see. It's got to go both ways here because I think I did it one way and not the other. Oh, this one jumped down here. Oh, I guess, yeah. This one jumped, so I didn't get a good cut there. We'll deal with that in a minute. I'll cut another one. In my movement, I made a boo-boo. All right, so we've got these 2 large ones. Those are the ones that are going to go inside for me, I think. So I think that this one will go right here. And this has a really pretty edge, but it is fairly fragile. It's nice and delicate there, so just be aware of that. So that one's going to go there. And then this one will go a little bit further down. So let's stamp Merry Christmas on this one. Or no, I think maybe I will do, let's see, do we have room for this one to fit here? We do. So that one's going to be Merry Christmas, I think. I think that'll be Merry Christmas. You could stamp something down here, but I'm gonna also put a sentiment down there. I don't want to put this label down here just because this edge is gonna probably get caught on something, and I would not want to ruin it that way. So this will get Merry Christmas, and I'm gonna stamp in Cherry Cobbler. Let's get out my Merry Christmas. Here's my Christmas. It's a long one. And here's my Merry. I'm going to stamp the longer of the two first. And we'll put this right here. Beautiful. And then we'll stamp the Merry. And that can kind of, the little T part can come right up there in that crook of the Merry. So we have Merry Christmas. And you can embellish this as you want, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use this stamped piece right here. You know what? I think I'm going to need to replace this glue very soon. I don't know if it'll make it. All right, we're going to just put that right there. Okay. I close it. This one's going to go right here. And let's see what we're going to write there. Okay, for the other sentiment, let's see, what can we use? We could do the to and the from, although that would have been good on the last one. How about merry and bright? Nope, we've got Merry Christmas. So how about sending wishes? Wonder what this to you goes to. Sending to you, sending cheer or cheer to you. No. Happy to you. I don't know what the to goes to. I don't see anything that it really finishes. But I'm sure somebody will come up with something. So anyway, let's do sending cheer. Yeah. Because what's going in here certainly is going to be cheerful for the recipient. Let's see, sending cheer. All right. So if I look to see how this can go, I could actually put these on the same. I can put these down because I haven't inked them yet. Put them right here, and we'll see how that goes. Sending cheer. If I go a little bit further down and space it, I can put something in the middle. I can put a stamp in the middle. All right, let's pick that up. Let's ink it. Sending cheer. All right, I'm going to bring in my Christmas greenery, which is part of, these two things are both part of the same suite. And inside we've got some little sprigs here, and we've got some little berries. So let's go ahead and just put a little something right in the middle there. I'm going to start with the berries, and I am going to use cherry cobbler. I could use real red because it coordinates. There's some red in there, but I'm going to use just these 3 dots. And then I'm going to take my old olive piece or ink pad and stamp the little sprig on either side. So 1, 2. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. I really wasn't sure how it was going to come out, but it's fine. All right, let's, oh, okay. I'll put this right here in the center. Now, we're not just sending words of cheer. We're going to send something fun. Gift cards. Now, I'm sorry that I don't have coordinating gift cards, but these are just some of the ones I had. So you're going to take some mini glue dots, and you can use the ones that are extra from Paper Pumpkin, or you can use the, the roll. Let's see if I've got a roll here. I've got a roll that's started already. Oh, this is going to be it, I guess. So it's just like how your credit cards come in the mail. You're just going to take a couple glue dots here. Make sure it's on there. All right. Let's reveal this. And you want to make sure that it's not going to show when it's closed. So you want to put it fairly high up on that panel. Okay, and then you would put the next one. This would be a great gift of a date night. So maybe it's a dinner, a gift card to a restaurant, and then a gift card to a movie theater, and then maybe a gift card to an ice cream shop for after the movie. Or it could be 3 separate date nights. I gave my son a bunch of gift cards last year so that he and his girlfriend could do some fun stuff. And he liked the presentation, but he's going to be more wowed with this one. So, sending cheer, and there's one gift card, and another gift card, and another gift card, and Merry Christmas. And what you can do is write a note down here in a white gel pen, or you could stick a piece of cardstock there and you could write your note. So if we do this, and again, we just want to kind of wrap it around with our fingers. It needs to be fairly loose. That's got about 1.5 inches, almost 2-inch overlap, so it doesn't need to be that long. So I'm going to say cut a 9 1/4 maybe. There we go. That's much better. We don't want it to overlap too much. Okay, so we will. And if you're afraid you don't know where to stop over here, this is what I do. I put my glue on the end of that one, and on the inside end of this one. And then remember, you don't want to make it too tight. You want to be able to get it off. So you're just going to put it loosely there, and you can see that slides nicely. Now, what are we going to do for our front decoration? You know what? I think if I go back to the designer series paper, we've got these beautiful flowers. That would make that's actually a very nice size to go on there. So I just need to figure out which one I want. I think I want this one right here that's got the two-tone on it. So I'm going to sort of rough cut it. Go right in between. And then I'm going to take my die and I'm going to cut it out. And what you can do is you can adhere this onto a scrap piece of cardstock to make it a little bit sturdier. And then when you die cut the two, you'll have a nice sturdy piece on the front. So here we have that. I bring out my Christmas greenery dies, which are larger dies, so they're in their own package. Got this right here. And you could die cut them separately too, but I think it's going to work, us die cutting them together. Put it right around there. When you think you've got it right, kind of tack that down. And I'm going to die cut this. All right. Yep, I cut it nicely. It's nice and stiff. And that'll go right on there. Ooh, I like it. I really like it. So let's see. I think I want to put my adhesive right in here. Come on, you can do it. All right. Cover up that seam. How cute is this? Well, it's not cute. I think it's beautiful. That paper is gorgeous. The gold accents, really beautiful. So you just slide it off, open it up. Oh, what do we have here? Sending cheer. What's this ribbon for? Oh, gift cards. I really appreciate your support of my business. And as an added thank you to those of you placing an order of $50 or more in my online store during the month of October, I'm going to send you a full color PDF tutorial, lots of pictures, and all the measurements and supplies that you'll need to recreate this project. Plus, I will include the supplies for you to create 2 of them yourself. I can't guarantee the designer series paper patterns that you'll receive, but it will be all coordinating and you'll just be able to put it all together and maybe add a couple stamped sentiments of your own. Per Stampin' Up! Policy, I can't add the stamped sentiments, but I can add the papers. So thank you. You'll find the link to my online store in the description of this video. I hope you have an amazing week ahead of you. And just remember, there's not a lot of time between now and Christmas, so let's get started making this Christmas extra special